Hello, this is Dr. Grande. Today's question is, can I analyze the case of Christine Weston Chandler? Chandler, who goes by the name Chris Chan, is a transgender internet personality who has attracted quite a bit of attention. Just a reminder, I'm not diagnosing anybody in this video, only speculating about what could be happening in a situation like this. If you enjoyed this video, please like it, subscribe to my channel, consider supporting me on Patreon, and check out my podcast on YouTube, Bella Grande Media. I will put the relevant links in the description for this video. It's worth noting before I get into the background here that there are many questionable sources of information about Chris Chan. Many of the articles from reputable media outlets contain a number of qualifiers, like various concerns about how reliable their sources are. At the time making this video, Chan is in jail, but before that, the 39-year-old had lived in Ruckersville, Virginia, with her 79-year-old mother, Barbara, who is believed to have dementia. So I'll get started with the background. I'll move to the timeline of the alleged crime, then offer my analysis. Christine Weston Chandler was born in Ruckersville, Virginia, in February of 1982. At around age 5 or 6, she was diagnosed with autism spectrum disorder. As part of a high school project in 2000, she created something she refers to as Sonichu, which is some type of web comic crossover series. It appears to be based on Sonic the Hedgehog and Pikachu from Pokemon. Chan once engaged in an activity she referred to as a love quest. When she was attending a community college in Virginia in 2003, she approached women on a campus asking for a date while holding a sign that read, "Seeking 18 to 21-year-old single female companion." The college banned her from using the sign. In 2004, Chan did this whole thing with the sign again at a shopping mall. The security there banned her. Astonishingly, Chan did not have any success with her strategy to acquire a romantic partner. Also in 2004, she started posting her comic to a website. Nobody really paid attention to it first, which was in accordance with the quality of the work. Then in 2007, some of her work was published on a message board called 4chan and other online forums. After this, there were some unkind articles written about Chan on Encyclopedia Dramatica. This is kind of like a Wikipedia-type database known for having a lot of activity from internet trolls. Apparently, Chan attempted to modify that article so it portrayed her in a more positive light. At this point, more people started trolling Chris Chan. At first, there were just a few, but then many more trolls became involved in the situation. Chan was being harassed on a regular basis. Some trolls even formed into a group and conducted various activities, including posting her personal information online, extorting her for money, impersonating her. They created fake identities. They posed as her romantic partners. They manipulated her into performing degrading acts, like they had her record videos. They stalked her, and they took pictures of her house. The trolling activity would eventually cool down a little bit. In 2011, Chan's father died of heart failure. In October of 2011, Chris Chan and her mother were arrested after her mother allegedly used a car to run into the manager of a video game store. They were given a year probation, community service, and a fine. In 2014, Chris Chan was arrested for pepper spraying a worker at a game store. Initially, she was charged with a Class 6 felony, which was recorded as dangerous gas unlawful release, but that was changed to a Class 1 misdemeanor, assault. I have heard of a lot of charges in my time doing this. This dangerous gas unlawful release sounds like it could of course apply to pepper spray, but maybe it's also designed to target patrons of Taco Bell. Chris Chan received a 180-day suspended jail sentence. Also in 2014, a fire caused by an extension cord in a bathroom destroyed Chris Chan's family home. The trolling activity became stronger after this fire. At some point, Chris Chan started a YouTube channel. It has over 52,000 subscribers. I looked at many of the videos thinking I could offer some type of summary of the channel. I'm really not sure what to make of it. To say that it's fragmented seems like a bit of an understatement. Essentially, Chan has videos asking for money, talking about her web comic, and some videos featuring her mother. There really isn't much of a pattern except for Chris Chan turning on the camera and talking. Here are a few examples of video titles: A Little Song and Dance, Mother Needs a Car Payment, Proposition to Sega, and Dimensional Merge Announcements. I'm not sure if the goal of the channel is to help people to merge dimensions, but I know after watching several Christian videos, I was able to merge my dimension with nausea. Now moving to the timeline of the alleged crime. On July 27, 2021, an 8-minute recording was posted on an internet forum dedicated to discussing internet figures. The recording features someone purporting to be Chris Chan admitting to having sexual interactions with her mother. On July 31, 2021, the Greene County Sheriff's Office received information involving possible criminal activity. The next day, they arrested Chris Chan at a hotel in Richmond, Virginia. She was charged with incest. This is a charge that can be pursued as either a misdemeanor or a felony. The misdemeanor is a Class 1, up to 1 year in jail. The felony is a Class 5, up to 10 years in prison. The Sheriff's Office said that the investigation is ongoing, with additional charges pending. Now moving to my analysis. As far as the criminal charge against Chris Chan, there's been a lot of speculation. I read the statute, and it appears as though the relevant charge would be a felony. According to the law in Virginia, if a person has sex with any person who they are forbidden to marry, that's a misdemeanor. Sex with a father or mother is a felony. As far as the other potential charges that are being considered, at the time I'm making this video, there's really no indication of what those are. Perhaps an area the police are exploring is the whole issue of consent. For instance, there's this idea that perhaps Barbara has dementia. A situation like that could really increase the severity and quantity of the charges. Moving into the mental health and personality factors, there's not a lot of information available in this case on this topic. As I mentioned, Chan was diagnosed with autism spectrum disorder. She has made a number of unusual statements and taken a number of unexpected positions during her time on the internet. Just a few examples. Chris Chan has said that fictional universes are real and can be reached through a dimensional merge. Portals have been appearing between worlds. Dimensions are colliding. The pandemic and other natural disasters indicate that life on Earth will be extinguished when the dimension of her characters collides into our reality. So I guess it's safe to assume that she's a bit of a pessimist. She has proclaimed herself to be some type of goddess. This appears to be a recurring theme. At one point, she said that she had been in a different universe for almost a year. Chris Chan claims that she merged with a webcomic character. They share a body. The character has every power a person can think of, and then some. Apparently, the power to stay out of jail is not one that a person could think of. At another time, she said that she was in a polyamorous relationship with the fictional characters. This kind of reminds me of the case of Randy Stair. I covered this case that occurred in Pennsylvania in another video. There's no way to know if Chris Chan is making all this stuff up, like pretending to believe in these different things, or if she really believes them. Maybe it's a little bit of both. This whole case is really plagued by low-quality information, or potentially misinformation, not just around Chris Chan's unusual statements, but even her potential guilt in this case. It's very difficult to know what's true here for a variety of reasons, mostly because of all of the trolls. The internet trolling that's going on is characterized by a number of people who have an incentive to stir up drama, to make up stories, to paint Chan in the worst possible light. This is how they derive satisfaction. It would appear as though the trolls identified someone vulnerable to exploit. They view Chris Chan as an easy target. Everything that Chan does at this point just feeds into that narrative. She's only making things worse by responding to the trolls. She is feeding the trolls, as they say. I wonder if Chris Chan fully understands that the trolls are not good, like they're not on her side. The attention that she receives is not favorable. Like, is she aware of the difference between someone laughing with her and someone laughing at her? As far as the recording of Chan making those statements about her mother, these trolls have impersonated Chris Chan in the past several times. It's not clear if the person in the audio recording is even Chris Chan. Something else to consider is that Chan may not have understood the context of the conversation. What if she thought she was performing for some type of theater or something, some type of role-playing that was fictional? Perhaps she did believe the conversation was real, but she was lying, like to stir up more drama, which could lead to more people making donations or buying whatever it is that Chris Chan sells. As far as the defense for the charge, I think the trolls have given Chris Chan a lot to work with. There are all these people that want terrible things to happen to her. They've engaged in all types of stalking and impersonation. She could argue that she was set up. She could argue that it's plausible that these people took these steps to make her look guilty when in fact she was not. I have no idea if Chris Chan is guilty or not, but I don't think the recording by itself would normally be enough for a conviction. She could easily say that she was just trying to perpetuate her internet persona, create trouble. It wasn't really a confession of any type. It makes me wonder if the police have something else in addition to the recording, like a witness statement, physical evidence, or a real confession. Now moving to my final thoughts. The case of Chris Chan doesn't really sit right with me. There is this individual with a mental disorder who has been mercilessly trolled for many years by well-organized perpetrators. Her engagement with the trolls just makes things worse, and the cycle keeps growing stronger. Regardless of whether she's guilty or innocent of this current charge, Chris Chan appears to be the victim of trolling. She doesn't appear to have a lot of ability to resist the attacks or defend herself. Many people have taken incredible joy at her arrest and other misfortune. I think this speaks as much about them as it does about her. It raises concerns about how the internet can be used to satisfy sadistic urges and allow people to conspire and focus on one target. At what point do the trolls just give up? At what point do they say, this isn't really a pro-social activity and not a fulfilling activity? When does it stop being fun? When have they harassed somebody enough? Evidently, that point is never achieved. Those are my thoughts in the case of Christine Weston Chandler. Please put any opinions and thoughts in the comment section. They always generate an interesting dialogue. As always, I hope you found my analysis on this topic to be informative. Thanks for watching.